Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Downsized. My name is Christopher Durham, and this is another edition of the Downsized Dish, our interview series where we talk to real world people who have been using GLP-1s to change their lives. Today, I'm excited to welcome Peter all the way from Florida. Welcome, Peter.
Nice to be with you, Christopher. And I would love to talk about GLP-1s.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. So, before we jump in, we have to do all the standard caveats. So, I'm not a doctor. Peter's not a doctor. You're not a doctor, right, Peter?
No.
If you need help with your healthcare plan, with your weight loss journey, please talk to your doctor and work with them to get a prescription, whatever it is you need to get a personal plan for you. And as always, we're growing a YouTube channel. So what we'd love you to do is hit that like and subscribe button, turn on the bell. That way it alerts you every time we publish something. And honestly, we do it every day. So there's always something going on in the GLP-1 world. And we're excited to have Peter here today. So Peter, let's start out. Tell us a little bit about you, man.
I'm a retired TV reporter. I worked all over the country for 40 years. My last job was at WFLA News Channel 8 in Tampa, Florida. And there I did mostly general assignment reporting. I'm a meteorologist, so I did weather, and I also flew the drone for the station. After that, I went to go work for Tesla at International Plaza. I'm a product expert, and I currently am helping out here in the Villages where I live here in Florida with the Villages Tesla Club. And I go to people's houses and do tutorials. As a matter of fact, when I get off this program, I'm going to a guy's house to teach him about his car.
Cool. So in my strange world, so during COVID, so we have this studio set up in our house. During COVID, I actually bought four 65-inch TVs that were paneled on the wall. So it was taller than what I am, and I could do the weather from them.
I'll sign you up, man. Sign you up.
No, I didn't say I was good at it. I was
Oh,
not good at it. And with COVID, everything went virtual, so there was a lot of stuff. There was a lot of sales on electronics, so it was a
I
lot of
got
fun.
out of business just as COVID was hitting, and boy, was I glad. It's hard to talk to someone with a 20-foot pole or over, Zoom or this kind of a
Yeah.
platform.
Absolutely, it is. Well, so talk to us about your weight loss, your GLP-1 journey.
All right. Yeah, I am doing videos here in the Villages, and I noticed that on my videos that I was looking a little plump, and that's being kind. I'll just say it. In my mind, I know fat is a bad word, but I was looking fat. I hated it. And I knew that I had to do something. I just had to do something. I went to go visit a relative out in California, and she said, in a most kind way, I know it's a sensitive subject, Peter, you ought to do something about your weight. So I vowed when I came back from that trip in March that I would. So I looked up a clinic here in town and I signed up and I started doing semaglutide, no tirzepatide, compounded. It was meta weight loss, if I'm allowed to mention it. And I was
That's
there.
fair.
Okay. I did that for a 4-week period. And I decided I wanted to go a different route. I asked my doctor if he would write the prescription. And that's why I went to meta weight loss. And he said he wouldn't do it. He says, you've got OSA, which is obstructive sleep apnea, which is controlled with the CPAP machine, which you can see behind me there. High cholesterol and high blood pressure, but those are all being controlled. So I won't write you the script. So I ended up going to a telehealth company, 9 a.m. Health, and he
Mhm.
gladly wrote me the script. And I've been on it ever since. Obviously started at 2.5 and now I'm at 5 milligrams with minimal side effects. Go knock on wood. I've lost
Yeah.
about 34 pounds, which I'm extremely proud of, Christopher. 34.
That's
I've
awesome.
never been able to do that on my own. That's where I am now.
So tell me, yeah, so give me age and height. So people always
I'm
want to know, how
Yes,
tall are you? How old are you?
5'8", 66, and at 34 pounds. My BMI started just above 30, and now I think I'm at 25.4 or something like that. According to my little scale, 25, I wouldn't be overweight anymore.
Yeah, no, you're solidly right in there. So, I mean, we've talked to a bunch of people in the Villages who have, I guess there's a healthcare system and insurance and all through the Villages, and have expressed some frustration with getting that script. So that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. And the other frustration is obviously I'm on Medicare, and of course they turn me down.
Okay.
They turn everyone down if it's just for weight loss. And I didn't have diabetes. I still don't have diabetes but I'm not anymore. Yeah. Yeah. But they would turn me down. So I had my doctor write a PA, prior auth. I know you've gone through all this stuff.
Oh yeah.
And they approved it. I'm paying, I'll say, I don't care. $93 a month is my out the door cost for 4 pens from using the injector. I know. I'm really
That's like
happy.
winning the lottery, man.
Oh my God. My wife doesn't care. She's on Mounjaro because she was diabetic for a time, but we think it was an erroneous reading. But anyway, so they approved it and she's paying 25 because, as you know, Eli Lilly has that coupon. So
Right.
it would be 60 and then it got down to 25. So I think we're doing good. And I feel for the people out there that are socked with a $1,300 bill or $1,000 bill for semaglutide or tirzepatide.
That's why we're fighting a good fight, man. It's trying to
I-
get a better affordability on these
Yep.
things because, as you've seen, they change lives. So talk to me. I mean, how has this impacted your health?
Well, I feel more, obviously more fit. I play pickleball and tennis. I'm going to take up some other sports here in the villages, and I just feel like my stamina has improved. I take electrolytes with me to the courts just to make sure, because it's hotter than heck here right now, and I'm sure it's
Yeah.
hot where you are. But I make sure that I hydrate. I'm feeling more, just more fit. I'm more alert. I'm excited when I read things about it may reduce inflammation in other parts of your body that we haven't even dreamed of yet, maybe forestalling dementia, and other kinds of inflammation you may have, or maybe you don't even have. So I'm just feeling a lot more vigorous about things. I am just, I don't know, I'm more alive. And I can just feel that things are not as bad as they used to be. I had a hard time getting off the garage floor in the past when I'm out detailing the Tesla and stuff. Now I just pop up like a jack in the box.
That's awesome, man. Well, let's take a look. You sent me a little video, so let's take a look at that. Let's see here. Here we go.
203 right there, 203. And there are 203. That's when I first started. My wife came up with this great idea to document the journey. And so every month when I open a new box, we take a photo. Yep. May,
I mean, you're
June.
looking great, man. You're getting there.
Thank you. Still have a little bit of the pot. That's the latest shot right there. I'm going to take a shot today. I'm not at my 168 right there. By the way, that's where I am right now, 168. And
Right.
so I think it might be the belly's gone down a little bit more. My goal was, by the way, when I was at Meadow Weight Loss, they said, "What's your goal?" And I said, "I don't know, 180," because I thought 23 would be great. They said, "Let's go for 175." Well, I zoomed past that. By the way, you've probably seen this, Christopher. My weight loss was like a giant chart. It went down fast when I
Yeah.
first started. And now I'm at 168, 169, depends on what I had for my dinner the night prior, but I'm hovering around that. My goal right now is 165 and to get that BMI at 25.
You should be able to do that. And you're only on 5 milligrams. So you've got some space to, not a doctor, but you've got some space to work with your doctor on. But yeah, I mean, my journey, I dropped pretty quickly in the first few months, but I had 100 pounds to lose, right? Those last 20 pounds were the slowest. And it's just, your body's fighting back a little bit. It's going, hey, got to protect itself.
I kind of equate it to when you're charging an electric car, the last 20% takes forever. If you go to a
Yes.
supercharger, for instance, they go to 0 to 80% in about 30 minutes, and then it's
Right.
really slow. I think it's the same thing here. My wife is struggling. She's lost 2 or 3 pounds and she's been on it for a month and a half. She recently titrated up to 5 milligrams, and we're hoping that's going to cause it to go faster. She's having a lot more downsides, not to quote her, than I had some mild nausea. I use ginger chews to forestall it, and I have Zofran in the cabinet if it gets really worse, really bad. Haven't used them yet, but we have it in the cabinet. Zofran anti-nausea med. But I really haven't had any serious problems. Mild constipation, and I deal with that with psyllium husks and Metamucil and Benefiber. Try not to overdose on that stuff, but really, I have no complaints. I always tell people a little bit of bad for a lot of good.
Absolutely, man. So you live in this big community called the Villages, right? So it's like 100,000 plus people, basically its own little city.
Yeah.
Have people noticed you've lost weight? Have they asked?
Funny you say that. I go out in public too. We have squares where we can listen to music, and I'll have people come up to me just unprovoked, say, "Hey, Peter, we watch you on Jerry and Linda. You're looking good." I had it yesterday. I was in the supermarket, and somebody said to me, "Hey, you're looking good." So yes, and that is such a nice compliment for people to just say it without even me saying, "Hey, did I want a weight loss drug?" I wouldn't come up to somebody I don't know and say that, but unprovoked.
Lorraine does all the time.
Okay. But it's so nice. It's the ultimate compliment for somebody to come up to me and say that, because I guess because it's been somewhat gradual for me, I don't see it as much as because they see me on a weekly YouTube videos, and so they'll say, "Hey, you're looking good." I've lost it in the face. I think that's where it's very apparent. Obviously, the belly. Christopher. I'm wearing shirts now that I bought when I first moved up here, and I put them on, and I felt like Lou Ferrigno, the Incredible Hulk. I was just popping up. It was
Now,
ridiculous. Oh yeah, it was ridiculous. Now I can wear them. I have some shirts now that look like I bought my shirts from Omar the tent maker, and I can't even wear them anymore.
so have you gotten rid of any clothes yet? Or
I haven't gotten rid of any because they're so new. I hate to get rid of them. They look great. I have a daughter that's a seamstress. I'm going to see if maybe she can tackle them, but I don't know. It's a rough call because they hang on my shoulders, and they really, when I play pickleball, I've got some that looks like I almost have a dress on because they were covering a belly in the past, and they don't need to cover that belly anymore.
well, so have you gotten any pushback? People gasping and going, "You're using medicine?"
Yeah, I've heard that. And because I watch a lot of YouTube videos like yours, I'm armed with the appropriate
Awesome.
response. And the appropriate response is if I have high blood pressure, I take meds for that. I have high cholesterol, I take meds for that. So I had obesity. What's the big deal about taking a drug to cure or rid myself of obesity? So they wouldn't say anything about the first two that I mentioned, but why obesity? Now, sometimes they'll say, "Oh, you're cheating. You could have done diet and exercise." Yeah, I could have, but I have the wherewithal and the means to try this drug, and I've done my research on it, and I figured, why not give it a shot? And it's work. I know that people don't like to use the term miracle drug, but I think it really is.
I mean, it's certainly changed our lives, so I have no problem with calling it a miracle drug. I mean, it doesn't. I think where people get worried about it is they think the drug does everything, right? And you know, you have to do work still. It doesn't magically fall off of you.
Right. Well,
I
that's
will say,
the key, Christopher. I have changed my eating habits entirely. I used to be a reporter, so I was out in the field, and I can't tell you how many Big Macs or Taco Bell, tacos that I consumed during that time. And it was
right.
quick, quick, quick in the truck with the sauce going all over my lap. But terrible eating habits. I have changed all that. I don't eat any bread, no French fries, no Big Macs, no hot dogs. It's all protein and always a salad and a lot of water and electrolytes. So, and you're right. I tell people it's a three-leg stool. There's the drug is one, the eating, and then of course exercise.
Well, so talk to us about what you eat on a daily basis. What does that look like?
Um, if I have a little bit of nausea, my go-to is Lipton soup. I can always seem to stomach some Lipton soup, but my wife is my coach, and she has a little scale in the kitchen, and she will weigh out a 5-ounce piece of either fish or a burger. You can have a burger, or steak or something like that. A salad, and we use the dressing is always either low fat or fat free. My couple of indulgences. I have a latte every morning with half and half, and I put a little sugar in it, but it's like half a teaspoon. Please
Well,
forgive
a
me.
full sugar's not going to hurt you, man. It's
All right.
okay.
Okay. Thank you. Christopher says it's okay. So I usually skip breakfast. I know you're not supposed to, but if I'm going to be playing, I'll have a bowl of Cheerios, and not the sweetened like honey nut. It's oats, and it's going to hopefully give me a burst of energy when I'm on the court. Lunchtime, either we go out a lot, and what we do, and this is a tip for your viewers. I go online and I look at the restaurant menus before we go, and I figure out before I sit down, what can I have and what can't I have? No fried fish, no fried chicken, you know the drill here. And we look for things that are grilled or baked. So we usually do okay. There's some restaurants here in the villages that we just can't go to because I can't find a single blooming item to have.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sit there and have a salad and everyone else is having a big meal. I'm not going to be the party pooper. So we just don't go.
Well, and you can indulge a little bit once in a while. It's okay. Now, the fried food might not sit well with this medication.
Right, right. I used to love fried chicken. I won't even stomach it. I've read online of people having severe stomach issues after eating anything fried like that. Well, I'm not going to risk it besides the calorie intake.
Yeah, it can get you. I mean, we're 96 weeks into this, so the medicine kind of evens out a little bit. It doesn't cause those typically, but early on,
Mhm.
also weird things would do it, like cucumbers, or it wasn't, you just never know.
That's odd. Wow. Well, I haven't really latched on to anything that is a trigger mechanism. I know what I shouldn't eat, so I don't try them. But The ginger chews have a little sugar in them. They're like 15 calories a piece. And, I'm hearing from you that that's nothing. So if I'm feeling a little bit queasy or something, I'll pop a couple of those and it seems to solve it.
Uh, I think you just have to remember this is not a diet, right? It's the medical treatment for obesity. So that all those diet tricks and all those things, you don't need them. So you're sounds like you're doing what you should be doing, right? You're taking a shot, you're eating real food, you're staying in a calorie deficit.
Yeah.
That's so if a little treat, if a little sugar, if the 15 calories in your ginger juice fits within your calorie
Not
deficit,
bad.
it does not matter.
You know what? I'll tell you, here's an admission. I was a real fan of craft beers. And my wife and I used to look seek out a new craft beer joint. We used to live in Pinellas County and we would had a lot of them down there. And I would do a sampler. And when we moved up here, we would find a place and try brews. My desire for drinking beer has fallen off the map. I've had one in the 5-month journey of this weight loss. It didn't make me sick, but I really didn't have a strong desire to drink it. And we don't go to craft brew places anymore. The good side is, that beer is just empty calories and it adds to the beer gut right here. The downside is I think that there is a little bit of a lack of quality of life in that it was fun for me to go out and sample stuff. And we have a thing called the enrichment program here in the villages where a guy gives a talk on different kinds of beers. And of course you get samples. I don't do that anymore because I just can't afford the calories. So I think as far as enjoyment of life, this has lessened it slightly, but far outweighed by the benefits of not being so heavy.
Well, and as you get further along your journey and you get into maintenance, you'll figure out how to live with things like those, right? So when it's a quality of life question and a weight question and a health question and some of that stuff you'll still be able to do it because you get to maintenance. It's what's the appropriate dose of the medication or not? What are the calories or not? What is the activity or not? And you kind of balance all these things out. And if you want to go have a drink, go have a drink.
There's hope.
But
There's hope.
it's not a big deal. It doesn't stay the same forever, and our bodies are not constant things.
I like to hear that because I would like to go out and have a beer on occasion. I just am. I don't want to sabotage this. I've got a lot of time and investment, money into it. No, not to it, $93 a month, but I get a year worth of these meds on my Medicare Advantage plan, and they're probably going to cut me off unless my hope is, Christopher, and I know you guys follow this immensely. Medicare and Medicaid is looking to the possibility of adding these drugs to their formula and finally recognizing that obesity is a disease and they'll forestall or cure a lot of other things that they're paying for now. So I think it's penny wise and pound foolish to not cover it.
So there is a bill in the House right now called the Treat and Reduce Obesity Act that would redefine obesity as a disease and allow Medicare, Medicaid to pay for these medications. Right now, by law, it is limited. It cannot pay for weight loss medications.
I mean, it just makes
Pay for sleep apnea, it can pay for all kinds of, but weight loss, it can't.
Yeah. Sleep apnea. I told you I have the machine back there. I've done some preliminary testing where I don't wear it or fall asleep on the couch. And my wife says, I'm not gasping for air. My apnea episodes are lessened. I'm hoping after a while, and I think it takes, from what I saw in some of the research, it takes maybe almost a year to cure it completely. Well, I don't know if it cure is the right word, but to not have to use that CPAP machine. And it's all a matter of the fat down here in your throat. So if I can get rid of that CPAP, maybe I can sleep on a plane without gasping. I'd go on a cruise without taking that damn machine with me. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that'd be exciting. Well, you're getting it paid for through your insurance, so that's good. I would make sure I fill it as soon as you possibly can, whatever the rules are.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people can fill it quick enough to get a little bit of extra in the pipeline.
They write me 1 month at a time at 9 a.m. They're real good about it, but they write me 1 month at a time. I'm hoping by the time my year is up, which will be in April of next year, I think it is, or May, that maybe people in Washington, they'll come to their senses and realize that obesity is a disease. Yeah, right. And maybe I can pay a copay, and I'll pay $200 a month. I hear you and Lorraine talking all the time about maybe $200 or $199 for the the 2.5 and maybe 340. I don't know. Let's come up with a figure that we all can agree on that gives them the profit they need and makes it available to more people who need it.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're right there with you. And I'll get 100 emails about this every time we talk about pricing on it. And somebody always says they have to make money. Somebody always says that's too expensive. And, our hope is just to make progress, to get these meds more accessible and more affordable. There's no doubt in my mind, 5 years, 10 years down the road, it'll be just like your heart medication or whatever. And it'll
Right.
be,
Right.
$20 a month or something.
Yeah. I run into people on occasion and they ask me, I'm sure they do for you because they know I've lost weight. And I say I'm on Zepbound. And they say, well, what did you have to do to get it? And I tell them that the hoops that I had to jump through to get it approved. And, it's kind of a touchy subject because I have to ask them, do you have any comorbidities? And I'm not sure that you want to share that kind of stuff with a perfect stranger. It's hard.
I have a tendency to believe that because so many of us are on these medications and will be continue to be on these medications, it's opened up a bigger healthcare conversation that makes it less taboo to just talk about health. And I think that's a good thing, honestly.
Yeah. Well, as evidenced by all the YouTubers out there that are discussing this stuff, and people will write in and bare their soul. I have
Yeah,
sleep apnea and I have this and I have that. And there's a whole bunch of different comorbidities that I'm not even familiar with, but I think they are the trigger that allows somebody like a Blue Cross or an Aetna or a United Health, to say, okay, we're going to allow it. I think it's in their best interest, as we've kind of touched on before, because if you don't give it to me, then I may come down with all kinds of other stuff that's going to cost cost is the big thing here. It's going to cost those insurance companies so much more if they deny me. And then I come down with diabetes or whatever.
that's right. Absolutely. Well, so you said you do pickleball. Hey, tell me about that.
We have, I think at last count, 259 pickleball courts here in the villages. It is the
Wow.
number one sport. Well, golf's number one, then pickleball, and then all the rest. It's a great sport. If you've never tried it, it's done with a little wiffle ball and a paddle.
Oh,
And
yeah, we've played. Yeah.
okay, good, good, good. And we have leagues here. We have tournaments and things like that. I play open play in the morning where it's kind of like a box of chocolates. You never know who you're going to be playing against. There's people of all skill levels. I like playing against people who are better than I am so that I can learn something. But I also play in league play that is fun. They set it up. It's called ladder league. And it's people who are of like skills. They have the men's league and the women's league. And they have mixed as well. It's a great sport. And what I like about it probably the most is I have met some really good folks out there who are my neighbors here in the villages who I wouldn't have met otherwise.
Yeah, it's a big place.
Yeah.
It is. So do you do anything else as far as activity?
Tennis. Yeah. Every Sunday is a fun and friendly tennis, we call it. And, we have a little app where we say if we're going to show up or not. And I play that. I was just doing Sundays for a while and I decided now that I'm on the GLP-1 that I need to ramp it up a tad. So now I'm doing 2 times a week. And I think I'll even do more than that. Again, met some really nice folks. As long as we're not discussing politics, I get along with them really funny. Yeah, I know.
There's politics all over, so it's
Yes,
all good.
especially here.
Um,
Yeah, you know what I mean.
well, you got 150,000 people. I'm sure there's 150,000 beliefs. So
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
there you go.
It's a way to get me outside. I've had people tell me that I need to do more strength training, and I know that muscle loss is a real problem, and I know that I've lost some muscle. I've never been able to shake my arm like that and had it move. I joined a gym here, and I have what's called silver sneakers for Medicare. I joined it for free, and I just hate going to the gym, Christopher. I hate it. I
I'm
hate
with
it.
you, man.
All right, good. We're on agreement on that one too.
You watch the lives very often. People will give me a hard time about it all the time. I think we all have to make our own personal decisions, and there's plenty of research out there to help you guide that. So
Yeah.
it's good. Um, well, so if you had any tips, tricks, advice, what would you give to people thinking about this?
Well, I think it's important to have a conversation with someone who knows more about it than you do, and that would be your doctor. Unfortunately, in my case, I hate to say it, that I knew more about this whole GLP thing, GLP-1, than my doctor, in that I felt that I had all the comorbidities that require that triggered a PA, prior auth. So I went above his head essentially. So I would suggest that if you think you're eligible. And if 1,300 a month or 1,000 a month is something you can't stomach, and there's not a lot of people who can afford that. That's, that's
That's a lot of money.
that's their rent or their mortgage. See if you can find a doctor, if it has to be telehealth or emoji, or there's there's 100 of them now. But here's a big caveat. There's a lot of what I consider to be bad actors out there.
Sure.
Dr. G says, and I know you interviewed him recently, don't get advice from someone on TikTok. I think it's important to find someone who is a specialist in obesity care or digestive issues to talk to you about it. Try and be upfront with them. Tell them your comorbidities, because I'm telling you right now, insurance is not going to okay it for weight loss only. If you are a diabetic, I think you're in like Flynn. You're going to taking Ozempic
Yeah.
or Mounjaro. You're going to get it. That's a comorbidity. Sign, seal, deliver. But if you just want to do it for weight loss, as the rules stand right now, you're not going to get it. So you're going to have to come up with a reason why you need these drugs. So a tip: be armed with the facts about your health. You can tell your doctor, your physician, your PA. And then once you get it, don't be afraid about the side effects. You probably are going to have some gastrointestinal issues. Probably. Stop me if I'm wrong here, Christopher. You know it
Oh
better.
no, you're right there, man.
And I've read the stats that show that 12 to 17% of the people in the Surmount trials, they dropped out because they couldn't stand the nausea. Well, ask your doctor for some Zofran. Get some Pepto if you have it. Whatever it takes, soldier through, because there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And like you said earlier on some of these other things I mentioned, I think once you get through the initial issue, problem with the nausea and maybe some constipation and things like that, then you're going to get over it. And oh my goodness, the reward, to me, it's a rainbow. It's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. 168 at 66 from 203. That's my pot of gold. I know people such as yourself, you had more to lose. I've seen people online that have gone from 250, 300, and now they're very proud at 192. That sounds overweight to some folks, but someone who's that heavy and they lose that amount of weight, they're going to be living a better life because of it.
And what's interesting about that 12 to 17% number from Surmount is basically that trial, they didn't force them, but they had them move up pretty quickly, and the goal was to get them to the highest dose.
Yeah.
So, the thinking today, moving a little bit more slowly and staying on the dose that's effective to you, tends to mitigate that, so you don't have as much drop off.
Yeah. I stayed at 2.5. I agree. I stayed at the 2.5 for 2 months, again, because of my research. And I was afraid of, leaning over the porcelain in the bathroom and having to interact for lunch. But I think it's perfectly okay for folks to stay at 2. If things are going well, if you're losing weight and you're feeling good about where you are, stay at the 2.5. I've heard some people that have stayed on it for months on end. And
we've seen people lose all their weight on the lowest dose, and we've seen people that had to go all the way to 15. So there's no one answer. And honestly, I just kind of look at people and go, you got to do what works for you. There's no moral right or wrong here.
Yep.
Whatever your body needs, talk to your doctor, do it.
Yep. When I first started doing this, and I was so excited about it, and I still am, by the way, if you can't tell, I would post on the internet, I am on Tirzepatide and I've lost blah, blah, blah. And somebody wrote me back, I would not put that poison in my veins. And instead of lashing out at her and saying, look, you don't know what you're talking about, I said, you do you. I'll do me. You do you. If you find it's not for you, fine. Go do diet and exercise and whatever floats your boat to lose the weight. And I wish you well. I've been successful with this, and I'm sharing my story with others, hoping maybe I can convince others to give it a try and at least consider.
I mean, that's why we started a YouTube channel, right? For us, we woke up 2-3 months later and went, holy, this works like nothing we've ever done in our life. Let's tell people about it. It's the religious conversion.
Yeah. Did you try diet and exercise before you tried?
Oh, we've all tried diet and exercise. And if you listen to Lorraine, she's tried everyone known to man. I was never a specific, I didn't do the cabbage diet or all that, but I was, like a lot of guys, it's I'm going to skip lunch and do this and do that, and I can lose 20 pounds. And I just kind of did this a lot.
Yo.
Right?
Yep. Yeah. I've run into people that have told me, well, they do the diets, but then they gain it all back. One of my fears, Christopher, is that if I ever do stop it. And right now, my intention is to stay on it. If I have to pay for it, I'm going to get into my 401k to keep it going, or IRA at this point. Is that I would gain it back. And as you know, research shows that if you stop it, most people gain, and stop me if I'm wrong, 2/3
Yeah,
of
you're
it
right.
back, about 2/3 back.
Yeah.
And I've made a vow, and I put it on the internet on my Facebook page. I will not be overweight again. That is my personal vow in life. I'm 66. I'm hoping to live to my 90s, and never again will I step on that scale and see 200 plus. That was, by the way, a revelation for me when I went to the doctor. I thought maybe my scale was inoperative. I went to the doctor, and they always say it weighs high. When he said, "Okay, Mr. Bernard, you're 203," I was like, my eyes like, that can't be right. And that was another comeuppance for me.
Well, these medications are a treatment for obesity. They're not a cure. So this maintenance, the whole is life. It's the ongoing thing.
Mhm.
So, there are some people who will be able to come off of it, and that's awesome for them. But Lorraine and I both think we'll be taking some form of these medications indefinitely for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. And I'm, like you said, I have to find the sweet spot. I'm at 5 now. 9 a.m. Health asked me, "Do you want to titrate up?" Because I think that's in their playbook. And I think that when they did the surmount, like you stated, I think they just moved them up willy nilly because they thought that.
Well, I mean, Lily's original was they kind of moved you up every month,
Okay.
basically.
So I have to find my sweet spot. I don't know if it's going to be 5, 2.5, and I don't know if 5 is going to do it. I may have to titrate up again, but I tell them all the time when they ask me, "Do you want to titrate up?" I say, "I'm going to play it by ear. I'm going to stay right now." I think you asked for tips. I think a tip is, Christopher, is find the milligram dosage that works for you and stick with it. And it's not a one size fits all.
Yep.
Some people, as you state, go to 15. I know on the other side, on the Semaglutide, it's got a different milligram rating, but find where it works for you. So eventually, when I get to I think I'm kind of at my goal weight now, to be honest. If I get to 165, I'm going to consider that I'm there. I told my wife yesterday, I feel like I've got my nose over the finish line.
So how is she doing?
Um,
She's
she's
sitting there. Yeah.
Yeah, in the other room. No, she's in the other room. We have a robotic vacuum that just started to do its thing. I didn't want to, so she's pondering it. She was, she's on the 2.5 for a month, and now she just titrated up to 5. She did that because she wasn't losing any weight. And she spoke to some people that she knows that have been on it for a couple of years, and they said, go up, go up. And the nausea came on big time, and she was not happy about it. And I just kept telling her, stay the course, stay the course. I think she's lost maybe 2 or 3 pounds. And my attitude is, being a layman, not a doctor, like you say on the thing, is stick with it. And I can virtually guarantee she will lose weight. And stop me if I'm wrong. I think some women lose weight at a slower rate than men. I think it's easier for us.
There's some research that point towards that for sure. Um, so how long has she been taking them? How about
She's on 2.5 for a month, and now she titrated up to 5. I think she might be on her second box of 5. So maybe it was 2 months at 2.5 and then 5. Yeah. But her weight loss has been minimal at best, maybe 3 to 4 pounds.
well, that's not the way. I mean, you're right at the bottom of the average there. So, but yeah, like I said, she might just need to titrate up and do what she needs to do. Well, I mean, but you guys are happy. You're feeling good. This has been a good decision for you.
Yeah. Well, because she was my coach I started it back in March. So she watched me, and I think I was a good example. And I kept telling her, "Hey, do you want to try it?" And for the longest time, she resisted. No, 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 no. I don't want to do it. Don't want to do it. She just has the high blood pressure, takes metropol and metoprolol. So there's no counter indications for that, or contraindications. Um, she's going to stick with it. She has the special scale that 9 a.m. provides, and it sends our data to them, and then I get it returned to me. And I have another one in my closet. By the way, tip wise, get a scale that calculates your BMI, your
Yeah.
bone mass, and all that. I stand on it for about 4 seconds, and then I get this readout, and then it graphs where you are. I know some people think I'm nuts, but I weigh myself every morning.
We do too.
All right. Good. So I'm not nuts. I'm not crazy, right?
Well, I mean, we're big proponents of those digital scales. We have one in our Amazon store. It's a Renfo scale, but there's many different
Yep.
brands.
Yep. I have a GE. It was like
I mean,
$37.
yeah, I think they run $20 to $300 depending on how many bells and whistles it
Yes.
is.
Get a scale, weigh yourself. That way you can keep track. I have a a friend who's diabetic, and I think he's over 300 pounds. And I tried to convince him to do it. And I said, go get yourself a scale so you can keep track of your progress. Oh, I don't need a scale. I go to the doctor, and that's few and far between. I think it's important to weigh at least weekly, and if not daily.
Yeah. You get to a point where the data isn't scary anymore, and you're kind of like, oh, look, my muscle. Oh, look, because there's so much data on those apps
Yeah,
that's cool.
I love it.
Very good.
I like keeping track of where I am. I would never consider myself a health nut. When I was in the field reporting, and I was eating terribly and on the go, I did feel like I moved a lot because I was chasing people with the camera. But no, you move a lot. You're not behind a desk. It's not a sedentary job like selling insurance or something like that.
Yeah. Well, that's super exciting. Well, thank you for joining us, Peter. I mean, I think it's been a great conversation. Always good to talk to somebody else in the villages. We have a growing viewership down there. So hello to the villages.
All right, good deal.
And we
You know, a lot of
appreciate
good
it.
people here. They it is active seniors. That's what I always tell people. The pickleball courts, the tennis courts. There's a thing called platform tennis, the golf. We have a whole bunch of golf courses here. I lost track. I think there's 15 of them, and they're always busy. It's hot, and they're still out there. The diehards are out there. It's a great place to live.
Well, very exciting. Well, thank you very much for joining me, Peter. So if you'd like to be a part of the Downsized Dish, you can reach out to Lorraine at Downsized Dish. She'll send you an email, get it set up. It's super easy to do. And of course, please make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. That way you get alerted every time we do something cool like this. All right, Peter, we appreciate it, man.
Nice rapping with you. Nice to meet you. And I saw Lorraine pop in for a second. Good to meet her too.
Yeah, thank you, sir.